All right, we're live again. Now we're going to start sharing our screen like we know what the hell we're doing. And the question is that the one? Is that the one? Share. And so when I'm here, that's where I want to be. Okay, I can dig on that. The biggest part of the problem that you contractors are running into is you go through leads, you don't close deals, and so then you start looking for ways to buy more leads. This is it's just the wrong way to handle it, guys. You need to be more introspective. Your website, do you have call tracking? Do you ever go back and listen to your calls? Have you thought about using AI answering systems to answer your phone calls for you, or AI receptionists, or how about AI chatbots on the website? Because the issue is you may be getting enough people coming to your website, initially picking the phone up, filling out a form, discussing a project with you on a chatbot, but are you pre-qualifying them enough to make sure they are a true lead and then nurturing them all the way through to the sale? Or are you just an order taker? So I'm going to hit on a lot of topics here. Hopefully this little presentation I'm doing here will give us some points to talk about. But yeah, so if you don't know me, I'm Bob Rutledge. I build websites, been building them for 30 years, but I even hesitate to say that I build websites anymore. AI has changed everything, and for the better, much more. I mean, you take a look at me, I'm 71 years old. There's no way you believe that I can understand all this AI nonsense, but I do. And I'm actually have gotten pretty good at it. I tackled Airtable 5 years ago, not a decade ago. It seems like 1,000 years ago. Airtable is a database, and some of you may be familiar with spreadsheets, like Microsoft, whatever the name of their Excel, and Google Sheets, and how to put your leads into that and kind of keep up with them that way. And databases take it to the whole next level. They can even, one like Airtable can even do automations. I don't even know if you know what automations are, but it makes your business run a lot smoother. So anyway, I don't do just websites anymore. So then people started hiring me to do their pay-per-click advertising. And that is still probably the number one reason people contact me. But you need much more. The purpose of this presentation here is that you need much more than Google pay-per-click advertising. You don't need to necessarily spend more money, although some of you aren't spending, it's just a case-by-case basis. But let's just say the phone rings 100 times, form fills, whatever, you get 100 contacts in a month, and you're only closing 20 or 30% of those. Well, some of them weren't good leads. Well, maybe some of them weren't. Maybe you didn't handle them well, honestly. So you need to start tracking all of your phone calls. You need to start using an AI answering service, because the people that do handle it right also are the big competitors in your town. They have professional answering service centers with a dozen or more people in them. I've been in some for plumbers that had, and heating and air guys that had 60 people in there answering the phones. And you could not compete with that until now. You can compete with it if you will start embracing looking for a person that, like myself, what's happened to me is I've become a one-man marketing company. I do the website. I do the pay-per-click. I build the AI receptionist and make sure it works perfectly. I have a lead tracking system, a CRM, if you will. And so that if you can go back and take a look at your leads, you can review and go back and rehash the ones that need to be rehashed. But you can, more importantly, get all the purpose of the AI receptionist is she's going to answer the phone. It's going to answer the phone. It's going to get the necessary information right off the bat. It may even ask questions as to what size job it is, where it's located. Not to mention, it's going to force the get your business ranked people, the robocalls and stuff. It's going to filter those out, 98% of them, if not 100%. So anyway, you're the only time you're going to answer the phone is when the call has been pre-screened, or you're going to get a text message from a chatbot that pre-screened that started the conversation and already knows what you're all about and is ready to be led to the next step in how you close the deal. I hope this all come through to focus a minute. So you think you might want more inquiries, but I'm betting a nickel to a dollar you don't really need more. You just need more booked jobs from the inquiries that you have. And unqualified, on your website, you have these lead generation forms on there that they're not pre-qualifying the people filling them out. It's too easy for them. Name and email address. You don't require a phone number. You don't require information about the project. Missed phone calls. That's probably the worst ones. You're up a ladder, you're fixing something, you're driving down the road, you half-ass answer the phone, if at all. Because let me tell you guys, if I say this once, you're going to hear me say this 1,000 times. You guys suck at answering your phones. It's just the facts. And when you suck at answering your phones, you've already told that person, I'm not talking to someone I want to do business with. So now they're looking for a way to get off the phone. And but if you missed a call entirely, they're not gonna hope you call them back. They're going to dial the next guy on the list. And anybody can tell you, and then you don't know which marketing is actually creating revenue because you're not tracking your phone calls. The fix is a connected system, not another pretty brochure site. So I get people that from time to time will Bob, I need a new website. It's not converting good. Well, in most cases, they are right to a certain degree. But in other cases, it was just a brochure site to begin with. It was never meant to, or get, it might even gotten you organically listed well, but it was never meant. It was never set up correctly to convert lookers into buyers. Another new thing nowadays is to keep in mind is the AI integration. Does it have the triggers on board the website that get you indexed into the Chat GPTs, the Google Geminis, the Claude, the Grok of this world? I mean, that's more, that's used to, it was just, are you listed on Google in the SERPs? Are you number one for plumber repair? Are you number one for toilet replacement and in your town? Those are the searches that make a lot of difference, but nowadays people aren't searching that way anymore. At least they're not searching as often as they did. So make every interaction earn its place. From lead volume to lead quality. More noise, generic forms. I've already covered that. Missed calls during hours, missed calls after hours. That's the real big sad one. You need to find someone to do an AI receptionist for you. I know you can't afford a regular receptionist. I know you certainly can't afford one after hours. I used to have a painting contractor that told me his after hours, his and weekends answering service was $2,000 a week. Folks, we can replace that for hundreds, not thousands, low hundreds per month. So what if you only had to pay $300 to $500 per month to answer your phone calls night and day? Yeah. Leads scattered across tools. So you need a unified platform to keep all your leads in there. Intent-based signals, intent-based form questions. Yes. I make sure that, I can do forms and have done forms in the past that literally do have questionnaires built into them. But I also have Gracie answer the phones for you. She's going to ask what is the nature of your issue, and then you're going to get that lead sent to you, or you're going to get a warm call forward. She's going to transfer the phone call to you. All right. The form should do more than collect a name. Amen. Ask the questions that help your team prioritize: service location, urgency, property details, the best way to respond. The tire kickers self-select out. Yeah, people that are just, the people that are thinking about having a pergola built are not going to fill out the form all the way. They're not going to interact with your chatbot much. On the other hand, it might warm them up going, hey, this guy knows, he's answering some questions for me. Maybe I'm a little bit more ready than I thought I was to get this project started. So what service do you need? Property address, best phone number. When do you need it? Request a priority callback. There's nothing big. Tell us more. Forms, no wasted follow-up. If you're going through third-party people, generic third-party people, they're not even seeing your brand name. You're doing nothing to build your brand for the future. Now, I built from the get-go, I've learned from doing pay-per-click advertising and call tracking. I listen to the phone calls. You don't. That's the problem. I think you know how crappy you are at listening, at answering phones, and so therefore you don't even listen to your own phone calls. I'm not surprised by this at all. A first impression that never clocks out. Gracie, so I built this for you guys. AI is your salvation when it comes to competing against these big venture capital backed companies. The big guys that moved into town, the big guys that advertise on TV, the ones that are at the top of the pay-per-click, the ones you can't compete with. When you do get a phone call, you've got to handle it correctly. And you know what? The odds of you answering that phone correctly at that 1 or 2 moments per day, 4 or 5 moments per week, when you've got so many thousand other things to do, is slim and none. So let's quit kidding ourselves. So jump on this AI. Let AI answer your phones. It'll shock you how good they are. And they're getting better every day, especially the ones that I build. I do it for you, not it's not a do-it-yourself kind of AI answering service. So like if you've seen, there's one out there called Rosie, I think, and it's self-service. And then you go back and listen to the calls and what the questions they ask. It's not, it still doesn't handle them right. The way I build them is I go back and test, and I have you, I build a fact sheet about you and your business so that she, and I'm just going to call her she because I named her Gracie, she can talk as if she's really your on-site answering service, and you're just away from your desk right now or out in the field. And so The only companies I've ever run into that answered their calls correctly literally had live operators. The ones where the owner answers the phone, which is you, are terrible. So anyway, first impressions that never clocks out. Gracie can answer your phones 24/7. Gracie engages is the key word here. Visitors, the specific moment they arrive, answers questions that are business specific, business related. Do you service my area? Do you build pergolas? Do you pump septic tanks in Alabama? Details teams need. Is this an emergency? Especially in heating and air, guys. Out in Texas, I've got a couple of customers out there, and down here in Mobile, Alabama, where I live in the area, it's so hot. The person answering your phones needs to ask: are there elderly people in the house? Are there small children? Is this an emergency? Because if that is the truth, if it's a business, for instance, you can't shut your business down because your air conditioner's not working. You got to pull the guy off of other jobs and have him come do yours as a priority. Anyway, AI, my receptionist, can capture these kind of details, screen out spam, and can route hot opportunities to the route person. Actually does a warm transfer. Well, what's a warm transfer? The warm transfer is, hey, Bob, you've got a phone call from George Smith. He's got elderly people in his house. He needs service fast. And you pick up the call, and then you say, hey, George, this is Bob Rutledge. How can I help you? I hear that you're having an emergency. Is it true that you've got elderly people there at the house and you need that air conditioning running right away? And then you take care of it. So I love this part right here. Let the website start the conversation. A chat bot. None of you have a chat bot. None of you have a chat bot. In this day and age, you need to have a chat bot. In fact, if you'll go to my main website, which is getcalls.ai, getcalls.ai, and engage my chat bot, I'll give you a free chat bot. I don't know how long this offer is going to last, and I reserve the right to pull it at any time. I reserve the right to terminate it at any time once I set it up, because I want to see how many people take me up on this opportunity to experience a bit of AI without having to commit a lot of money to it. So go there now, getcalls.ai. But watch this. So, hi, you go to the website. Gracie starts the conversation. How can I help you today? My AC stopped working. I need someone this week. Okay, that already determines it's not an emergency. I can help you with that. What city is the property in? And so on. I mean, it even asks, it starts asking probing questions about exactly what's going on with your unit. Mobile is where they live. I'm running. It is running, but it's only blowing warm air. Thanks. I have enough to get this moving. I can request a priority callback. Note the issue for a technician. And so then it sends it to a text message, or it sends it to a warm transfer phone call. It goes into your CRM. Know what created the call. Know what deserves more budget. In other words, I also, you call me, you want me to build you a website. You call me, you want me to set up your pay-per-click campaign, but you don't really know what happens after that phone rings. Now, you may know it 5 minutes from now, but you won't know it a week from now. You won't know it months from now. I build a tracking system. I build a table where you can go in and look at new and old leads, rehash some of them. I also, for some of my customers, build bar charts that show them at a glance how many phone calls they've had this month versus last month, this week versus last week, this time last year versus this month last year versus this month now. It lets you make better decisions and how much money you need to be spending and where you need to be spending it at. And we can track, everybody talks about having tracking on their website, but the only tracking that really matters is the phone call itself. If you're a blue collar trade and you're saying that 700 people came to your website, which is 400 more than last month, is BS. That doesn't put any money in anyone's pocket unless you're selling some kind of good or, something like if you're buying baseball caps online or something. But when it comes to these trades, the only metric that count is your phone calls, your form fills, and your chatbot interactions. So there's 3 ways that you can interact now while you're on top of a ladder. It doesn't have to be the one where they call. In fact, again, going back to the chatbot, that kind of starts the conversation. The other way, filling out a form, it's hard to get across what the problem is in a form. And the bigger commitment is picking up the phone and calling. And people just, they're not good at committing anymore, needless to say. Built to turn attention into booked work. All right, so you want to attract people, you want to engage them, qualify them, and measure them, and be able to go back and measure. This is what I've repeatedly said in this conversation. You're running campaigns, you've got landing pages. That's what I do. That's how I got started. But now I actually answer the phones for you. Gracie answers the phones. Gracie instantly engages and starts a conversation, especially with the chatbot. The forms, you got to qualify your call. So let Gracie qualify. If they're not willing to give you an address of where the job is, they're not willing to get the job done. So it self-eliminates the tire kickers. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you need to be able to show which channels created the best opportunities for you and your company. The aspect of having it available 24/7 is the big deal. People nights and weekends, if they're looking to build a pergola, if they're looking to update their backyard, or if a storm comes through and blows down a fence, you need to be able to answer the phone right then. Well, you're not going to be able to. Also, Gracie will handle up to 20 phone calls coming in simultaneously, and I'm not going to charge you anything extra for that feature. So that like if a storm comes in and knocks the power out and people haven't got air conditioning, the phones are going to start ringing off the hook. Okay. She'll take multiple phone calls at one time for you. Before you spend more money on generating more leads, make sure your business can catch the good ones. Go to my website, getcalls.ai. There it is down there in the corner. Let me see if I can highlight this. It doesn't highlight over there. All right. Anyway, it's a website, getcalls.ai. And on there, you will see my chatbot. Interact with her. And then up in the corner, you'll see a tracking phone number. Call it. Talk to Gracie for a minute, and then Gracie's going to forward you to me. And let's talk about let's have a conversation about how we can improve your business and maybe not necessarily get you more leads. How about improving the ones you're getting now? I hope that's helped. I need to start doing more live presentations like this. You need to reach out if you have any questions about this, and we will talk soon.